Awesome. Today, I'm going to be stepping you through how we've built one of my favorite projects to date in Build Club, and that's your very own AI community manager. So this is for everyone out there that has maybe a giant Slack channel, which they look at every day, maybe even Yammer feed or Teams feed. We're going to show you how you can build your very 24/7 community manager in literally less than 10 minutes. In the tutorial today, we're stepping you through this using a really cool startup called Runbear. And no, you do not need any coding experience for this. So before we get into that, in terms of the goals for the next 10 minutes we have together, I'm going to show you how to use no-code tool builders and a bit more about how it works behind the scenes. Secondly, I'm going to step you through the Runbear platform. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how to build an AI community manager. And you can completely tailor it to work in your environment and for your community. So if you have community values or principles, we can completely fine-tune it towards that. Before we delve into the actual build along with me video, I'm going to show you what it looks like in action. What you're seeing on the screen at the moment is our Build Club Slack community. As you can see, we have a lot of different channels and there's a lot of different noise. In Build Club, we actually have co-workings which run in more than 20 cities all around the world. And that can get confusing for some people. So maybe a question that someone wants to ask is like, who is the city lead for Malaysia? So all you have to do is type that in and add the chatbot. And we've named our Build Club chatbot Build Club support bot and put like the little 404 dinosaur. And you can see that Brendan is the city lead there. So very fast and very efficient. That is probably a manual question which I would have had to stay up late to reply to. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial on how we built this. All right, so the first thing you need to do is go to the Runbear website, runbear.io, and simply click Get Started. Runbear has a really amazing onboarding flow, which it will run you through to make sure that you're accustomed to the workflow. So I won't go through that in detail, but essentially when you land, you will see step-by-step how everything works. And the first thing to do is go to the assistant section. So this is essentially like the home of all the different little apps you're building. So if you're building multiple apps, this is where you can track where each of them are. And what you want to do is create a new assistant. So when you create a new assistant, you'll get an interface like this, which pops up. So there's 4 key tabs. You have basic, which is essentially all the information you need to populate into your chatbot. Channels is essentially where you integrate the chatbot you're making. Analytics and threads are more reporting mechanisms too, which help with tracking. So first things first, let's give our chatbot a name. So in this case, we've just typed in Build Club support chatbot. You can add the smiley face at the end. And then assistant instructions is the real bit of prompt engineering we'll have to do. So if you haven't already, I recommend visiting our Cohere prompt engineering course. But if you have, let's go through this prompt together and I can show you how we put it together. So this prompt type here is called a role play prompt. So this means that we're pretending to be a character, or the LLM in this case is pretending to be a character, and we're giving it both characteristics and guardrails and a job to be done, which it should be doing. So the language I've used in this prompt is to tell it to be a really, really good community manager. And you're managing Build Club, which is a hybrid community. You should only answer questions which relate to AI, resources, and events, so giving it really clear guardrails. And if you get lost or people you don't know the answer to something, don't make it up, point them to a website or even point them to talk to Annie in Slack. And the last thing, very, very important with community and vibe management, is to give your community manager a personality. So in this case, I've told it to use emojis and also have a fun personality. Awesome. So after you have your prompt written, you should select the model. So I think all of these models are pretty good. GPT-4o Mini, I heard, is one of the best. But in this case, we're just using vanilla GPT-4o because it works just as well for our use case. One of the most amazing things now, which we'll move on to, is actually giving the chatbot context. So what this means is you can connect all these external sources you probably have for your community and actually use them to give your chatbot information it can pull from. So literally turning it into a customer support chatbot. So you can do anything from uploading files to even connecting your Notion. So in this case, we've connected the Build Club Notion. In Build Club, we manage our community across a kind of like a very split tech stack. But one of the things we do is centralize things in our Notion. So we have a tab called External. And inside External, we have 2 tabs. One's like our resource base, and then the second one is our community manager page. So this is still loading. Sorry, my internet's quite slow today. But essentially, you just tick the tabs which you need. Awesome. So after your information sources are loaded, you can also give your chatbot actions. So these are almost like tools it can use which are outside of like the GPT-4o remit, but give it tools where it can interface and act with things. One of the most powerful ones I'll point out is Slack Search, where it can actually browse the whole Slack, act as almost like a brain for your Slack community. I think that's really amazing. After you've done that, simply click Update. So that's step one done, which is almost like configuration. And step two is to put it into an actual channel. So there's a really easy instructions you can follow for this, but essentially I've just linked it to our Build Club Slack channel. I haven't set any triggers, but you can set triggers if you want. Some ones I have tailored with are just like limiting replies and things like that. For preferences, I played around with like the icon and hiding annotations. And yeah, you can essentially choose like what channel to have it into. So that's it. Your Slack bot will be set up. And then after that, all you have to do is go into your Slack channel and hit visit. So that's pretty amazing. I think it's very mind-blowing how quickly you can get this set up. There's also some other actions which Snow will walk through in his tutorials, which are a bit more complex, like setting triggers and even Zapier automations. So you can like DM specific members and onboard people in a specific way. With our chatbot, you can also see like reactions and messages and also actually the threads. It's a really amazing level of reporting you can do to actually monitor the uptake of your little chatbot. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, learned to use Runbear, and would love to see your community manager chatbots in action. I'd encourage you to create a project in Build Club community for this and look forward to seeing you ship some build updates for it.